2020 is over. Say it with me. 2020 is over. Alright, I feel much better now. Like many other things in our lives that were upended in 2020, the film and TV industry were no different. Shooting schedules were pushed back, film releases slated for 2020 were postponed for 2021 release, and I've only seen 2 movies in a theater since last March. While a pandemic still rages throughout the world, it seems almost inconsequential to lament about the lack of new film releases, but going to the movies is the way many of us escape the harsh realities of the world. And if you're on our channel and watching this video, chances are that means you. Although we didn't get a chance to see the films that we wanted to in 2020, the silver lining is that 2021 will now bring us an onslaught of film releases. And while there's always a chance those release dates can get pushed back again, it feels good to finally get a chance to talk about the films that are coming out right around the corner. So today I'm excited to take a deep dive into our top 10 most anticipated films currently slated for 2021. And as always, if you love what we're doing here on the channel, make sure to like and share this video and subscribe to the channel so we can continue to bring you more movie and TV content that you love. Starting off our list at number 10 is The Suicide Squad. And yes, I know the first Suicide Squad movie was not good, to say the least, and potentially the worst DCEU movie to date, to say the most. But hear me out. This iteration of the Suicide Squad is helmed by James Gunn, fresh off his unceremonious split from Disney, before ceremoniously unsplitting from Disney. Details on the plot are scarce, but I trust James Gunn to give us something much different than we received before. I mean, this is the guy that endeared us to a talking tree and a deranged talking raccoon. To say he's earned our trust is an understatement. This movie just barely cracks the top 10 because we are oh so curious to see how this film turns out this time around. In at number 9 is A Quiet Place Part 2. This is a sequel to the 2018 sleeper hit A Quiet Place, which hailed from the dark and twisted mind of director John Krasinski? Taking place after Part 1's events, Part 2 sees the Abbott family venturing out into the unknown. Part 2 features not only monsters, but will introduce us to new characters, most notably Emmett, played by one of my favorite actors out there, Cillian Murphy. While plenty of critics hailed Part 1 as one of the best horror films of the decade, I personally wouldn't go that far, but I did enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Krasinski does with Part 2. At number 8 is ShangChi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Billed as the master of Kung Fu, this movie will introduce a brand new hero to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, played by Simu Liu. Co-starring Awkwafina and Michelle Yeoh, I'm looking forward to the new energy that will be injected into the MCU now that we've closed the Infinity Stone saga. I don't know much about this character personally, but I am a huge fan of Kung Fu films, so I'm intrigued to see the MCU's take on a Kung Fu hero. I followed Simu's work on the excellent Canadian show Kim's Convenience, so I'm really intrigued to see what he does with this character. Count me in. The number 7 pick on our list is No Time to Die. We've been waiting quite a while to watch Daniel Craig's last turn as 007, but I have a good feeling it'll be well worth the wait. This movie will bring back several familiar faces and introduce several new ones. Key among the new characters is the villain, played by Academy Award winner Rami Malek, who is one of the best actors around today. Daniel Craig's turn at playing Bond in No Time to Die will make him the 3rd oldest actor to play the iconic role. That's hard for me to believe. It is Craig's final movie playing Bond, so here's hoping he goes out with a bang. Coming in at our number 6 most anticipated film of 2021 is Mission Impossible 7. Christopher McQuarrie is back once again helming the movie that will no doubt see Ethan Hunt do even crazier shit than he's done before. The film series really improved in quality when McQuarrie came on board with Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. Each installment has upped the ante in action and stunts, and with the internet pictures showing crews leaping off large motorcycle ramps, MI7 looks to be no different. Now personally, MI6 was my favorite Mission Impossible film to date, so I'm eager to see what mission Ethan Hunt takes on in this installment. Also, as a side note and a warning, please wear a face mask if you're anywhere near Tom Cruise. Beginning the top half of our list at number 5 is Black Widow. With the original release date delayed a year, I don't really hear many fans talking about this movie anymore, but I think we're in for a really fun ride if the trailers are any indication. Taking place after Captain America Civil War, but before Infinity War, this movie will see Natasha visiting people from her past and reflecting on those events that have shaped who she's become now. Scarlett Johansson is joined by Rachel Weisz, Florence Pugh, and David Harbour as Red Guardian, who, as it appears from the trailers, may be a scene stealer. Black Widow has become such a large part of the MCU over the past decade, it'll be cathartic to see her take on one last adventure. At number 4 is Spider-Man 3. In Tom Holland's first 2 solo Spider-Man outings, he was surrounded by plenty of MCU mentors, in Tony Stark in Homecoming and Nick Fury in Far From Home. This movie promises to be no different, as Doctor Strange is slated to serve in the mentor role. Over the past few months, the outlook on this movie has become much more interesting, as online rumors have been swirling that Doctor Strange is going to introduce the concept of multiverses, and we may just in fact see former Peter Parkers Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire return to the franchise, as well as Jamie Foxx and Alfred Molina as Electro and Dr. Octopus, respectively. Who knows what is going to happen in this movie, but this sounds equal parts crazy and epic. I'm all in for all of the Spider-Men appearing together in Spider-Man 3. Barely missing out on one of the top 2 spots and landing at number 3 is a movie that I felt like I'd never get to see. The Eternals release date had originally been slated for November of 2020, but after a few shifts, will finally be released later this year. This movie follows a group of ancient aliens living on Earth in secret for thousands of years and promises to give us something we've never really seen before in the MCU. With an impressive and diverse cast too big to list individually, this movie is definitely not lacking in star power and has the potential to be one of Marvel's most cosmic films yet. As of now, no trailers have been released and any details have been kept pretty well under wraps. That brings us to our top 2 picks. At number 2 is Dune. The adaptation of Frank Herbert's novel is directed by Denis Villeneuve, who is arguably one of the top directors working today. Arrival and Blade Runner 2049 are 2 of my top films from the last 5 years. Boasting a strong supporting cast around Timothée Chalamet's lead character, which reads like a who's who of Hollywood, this is not a film to be missed. The cinematography in the trailers looked gorgeous, and this is the type of movie I can't wait to return to theaters to see on the big screen. It promises to deliver epic sci-fi action and a mythic journey the filmmakers seem pretty proud of. Sign me up for this one. Well, thanks for sticking with me to the end of the list. My number 1 most anticipated movie of the year is The Matrix 4. Lana Wachowski returns to direct Neo, Trinity, and a cast of new characters. It's crazy to think that the last movie in the Matrix trilogy, which was the disappointing Matrix Revolutions, was released almost 20 years ago in 2003. Now, I love the original Matrix. It was interesting, fun, groundbreaking, and I personally think it's one of the finest sci-fi films ever made. I really wasn't too crazy about the second and third one, but still I'm really excited to see what Keanu Reeves does in his return to his Neo character. I have hope that after 18 years in hiatus, they found a worthy story to tell. Now, I am a bit confused about the absence of Morpheus, played originally by Lawrence Fishburne, but I have faith that the storytellers know what they're doing. If The Matrix 4 can manage to capture the sci-fi magic of the original Matrix film, we're in for a treat. Well, that's it. What did you think? Let us know in the comments what your top 10 most anticipated movies of 2021 are. Thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you next time.